In this section, we're going to open up Premiere for the first time. What do all the settings mean? And how to set up your projects. So now that we have some assets or videos and pictures put together, let's open up Adobe Premiere Pro. If this is your first time opening Adobe Premiere, you won't have any recent files down here. But if you've been in here before or opened up another Premiere project, this is where you can click on to actually go and reopen it. So for us, we're going to click on New Project. You're going to then put a title name in here. So we're going to say Practice Movie, for example. And then here you're going to select the location where you are going to store your video. You want to choose a drive that has a lot of space. And what we're going to do is put it in. We have a folder made Prexels, which is what we copied our videos into in the previous chapter. So I'm going to select that as my folder. This is where it's going to go. So my location is Prexels in my case. My project is called Practice Movie. And as far as the rest of this, you don't really have to change anything. As far as scratch discs go, I always leave this as same as project. Just make sure you have enough space on the hard drive that you're going to. Try not to put it onto a separate USB drive. Try to put it on the fastest drive you have, like an SSD drive, for example. This is rendering. If you have RAM on your graphics card, you want to select that. You can select playback on software only, and that will just slow things down quite a bit. So if you have a good graphics card, so Adobe Premiere video editing is actually very memory hungry. So what you want to do, if you have a great graphics card, choose that. And then we're going to say OK. And that is the beginning of our first new project that we're going to start creating a movie in. So if you have the newer version of Adobe Premiere Pro from April 2022, so it's version 23 and above. Now when it first opens up, you might get this screen here. A Frame.io is just a way that if you're in a larger corporation, that your clients can actually integrate on your videos and they can draw on the video and leave messages, but from 99% of us, we're never going to use this. Now, if you've landed on this screen, notice it's on home and there's nothing down here. If you've had previous projects that you've had open or playing around, you could see them here, for example. If you didn't have anything, it's the very first time, you will see nothing here. Now, the other thing you might land on, it might be on the Learn area. This is just Adobe's area for you to take some tutorials and look at different things, like hands-on tutorials up here if you're interested in that. If we go back to home, this is where we are. And we're going to go up to New Project and click on that. You'll see that we've landed on Sample Media. This is a sample media here from Adobe. Up at the top, you have a couple of little tabs here, Import, Edit, and Export. They're grayed out at the moment because we haven't created anything. And down here, for example, if you had other media on different parts of your computer, so this is an external drive, this would show me, if I click on this, for example, and I go here, this would bring up the different media on my external drive. Now we're going to get into all of this as we move forward into the course, but right now we're just going to concentrate on a project name. So here we're going to just call it whatever, test for now. You can call it whatever you need to. This is a location that it's going to go to. Make sure you have enough room on your hard drive for this, and you also want this in an area that is on your computer, not trying to work off external drives. If you do try to work off an external drive, it has to be a very fast SSD drive, but I would recommend you copy the files over to your main computer or workstation or laptop, because Premiere is very intensive, resource hungry, and if you try to work off external drives directly, normally unless you have a really fast processor, it'll struggle and you'll see choppy playback and things like this. But we're going to go through that, how to import media into where we need it. So next we need to choose a location where we want to store our project. So we're going to choose location. In my case, I'm going to do it here under D, and I'm going to right click. I'm in Windows. You can do the same sort of thing in Mac. I'm going to create a new folder and I'm going to call it test footage, for example. So that's created. I'll select that. So now that's the folder that my project called test will go into D test footage. And I'll simply come down to the right down here and select create. Now here we can see on our D drive, we made a folder called test footage. And there's our project called test that we created. Now just be careful around here. So I was showing you that I was in the Samsung drive and it shows our media here. So you can look at your media, you can import it. So for example, if I had this and this was checked, for example, it goes that blue color, and then I did create. Now when it opens up the file, it's going to copy or import that file that we selected here, which is right here. So it would put it automatically for you in there. Just be aware of that, just in case you do that by accident and this comes up and you're thinking, how did I get these files in here right now, which we haven't covered yet. So just be aware of that. So if you didn't select them, I'm going to just delete that. It was going to come up and look like this. And now we have these tabs where it says import, takes us back to where we were. We can select media, edit, or export. Now these are active. I'm going to go through these as we go through the course, but this would be what it would turn up in is the edit tab, and we're going to go through this next.